Hi, I'm Randy Robison. Welcome to Life Today TV. I am thrilled to have today's guest. Devon Franklin is an actor and a producer and a guy in Hollywood who is doing what all of us who enjoy film and enjoy Christianity, we want to see the best of both in one venue. And that's what this gentleman does. Devon, thank you for being with me.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Well, okay, let's talk about your first acting role in the movie that's out now as we talk about this, and that's Woodlawn, which is a phenomenal film, I must say. So congrats to all you guys.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so excited to be
How was it to act?
It was great. You know, I mean, it was scary. I'll admit that. You know, when God opens a door that you've never walked through before, there is that fear associated with it, which is, if I walk through it, will I do well? Yeah. And I'm thankful that it all worked out. You know, the Irwins, who I've known for years, they sent me an email and said, "Hey, Devon, would you ever think about acting? We got this great role for the preacher in the film." Yeah. And I said, "Well, send me the script." And I read the script, and I fell in love with the script. It felt like the Holy Spirit was just in those pages, and the message of the film was so powerful. I said, "Yes, I'm in." And so to be there, and the thing that was so interesting is, you know, I'm used to being behind the scenes. I was an executive for years and now producing my own films. And, you know, you're behind the scenes, you can see the monitor, so you know what's going on. When you're on the other side of the camera, you can't see anything.
You don't know.
So you're like flying without a net. So you have to really rely upon, you know, your director and your producers to let you know, oh, that was good, or do it this way, or do it that way. Yeah, and then I had an added benefit. My wife,
I was wondering if you,
Megan Good.
Did she give you any tips?
She did. She was there.
Oh, okay, good.
She was there, and they allowed her, you know, to be right next to them while my scenes were being shot, and they let her come on set and give me notes. So that was great.
So tell the audience who your wife is.
My wife is Megan Good. She is a star of the new show Minority Report on Fox, and she's been an actress, you know, her whole life, and you know, she's a lot more famous than me. So, okay. I'm known as Mr. Megan Good.
So the rest of us married guys, we take a lot of criticism from our wives. do you get just heaps of it when you're trying to act, or was it helpful?
It was helpful.
Okay, good.
It was good criticism, and it was constructive. And it was like, babe, try it like this, or do it like this, or, you know, go here or go there. So it was it wasn't even a husband and wife dynamic. It was a professional to a growing professional. So this is the first time doing it. You know, she has done it her whole life. So she took that professionalism and helped me learn and grow as a new professional in that part of the business.
Good.
So it was awesome, and I enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to the next time.
Yeah, I hope you get to do more. Woodlawn, it's a movie set in 1973, 74.
Yes, right around that time.
Birmingham during forced integration. It takes place with a football team, but it's not really about football. It's not really about race as much as it is about the transformational power of the gospel.
Yes, which is what motivated me to do the movie, and it's what, you know, just struck out to me, is that every time, you know, I see those scenes, and every time I was on set, I mean, just the power of the story, and you're so right. You know, it's like, because the gospel is so powerful, the life of Christ is so compelling, that what that can do then and what it can do now, it can transform. It can totally take your life to another level. It can radicalize any situation that you're in. And I think when you look at what was going on in Birmingham 9 years after the Civil Rights Act had been passed, there was a lot going on. And what was so important right then and there was desegregation. But it was challenging. And how interesting that God would choose to use the gospel and the presentation of it as a way to heal the racial divide going on, not only at that school, at Woodlawn High School, but also because of what happened there, it began to heal the community and began to heal really the state at large. Because in the movie, it's a true story, that high school, not only did the whole team get converted, but the rival team got converted. And when that rival team, you know, went and played together at the very end of the movie and the very end of the story, I mean, that's still today one of the biggest games in the state of Alabama ever. And it was such an affirmation of faith that I think still resonates today.
Yeah, and the historical aspect of it. One just side note, I enjoyed Bear Bryant's.
Yeah, wasn't John Voight amazing?
And John Voight was great.
He was great as Bear Bryant.
Gem of a film. I highly recommend it. If you haven't seen Woodlawn, go see it. Okay, you also produced. We talked about that.
Yes.
First time I saw you, were working on Heaven is for Real.
Yes.
You worked on several other films. You worked somewhat on Hancock.
I did. I've worked on a lot of Will Smith movies. The Pursuit of Happiness, Hancock, 7 Pounds, the Karate Kid, Will was the first person I started working for as an intern when I got into the business many years ago.
Good guy to know.
He's a great guy to know.
Yeah.
And he's been a friend and mentor ever since.
Okay.
And so to be able to work on a number of his films and to learn how the business works, to learn how to tell great stories, so much of what I do now as a producer and as a storyteller, I've learned from him. So I'm really fortunate and grateful to have had that experience.
What's your commitment to bringing the faith, the gospel and faith into quality films?
It's what I do. It's one of the things I'm meant to do, one of the things I'm born to do, because that's what it's about to me. When you look at, back in the day when the church would go and commission these incredible artists like a Michelangelo or Leonardo da Vinci to do work, they were getting the best to do the best art in the world, the church. And that art was so amazing that to this day, it's still awe-inspiring. Why can't we do that same thing in film, in television? Let's make the greatest content ever. Why is the Bible still around? Not only because it is the foundation of our faith, but the stories that are told are so resonant today and so compelling, they're timeless. We need to start making content that is as relevant and as timeless and as compelling as the stories that are the foundation of our faith. And I am committed to help do that. I want to make movies that have the best actors and the best writers and the best, directors and the best studios and the marketing and all that, because that's what's required to be competitive in the marketplace. And that's also what's required to reach souls, to me, I believe, at the maximum level. Movies like Pursuit of Happiness that I've worked on, or Heaven is for Real, those are movies that were designed to not only satisfy a core audience and a core faith audience that's authentic and compelling, but it was also designed, how can we find people that may not be in the choir, but they still have an ear for the same melody in the general market? So my goal is to make content that can play no matter where it is, right? It can play to anybody because it's universal themes and great characters, but still do it in a way that's authentic to my faith as a Christian and something that I can still hold my head up and be proud that I was associated with.
Yeah, and you look at like your IMDb list, you've done that so far. And you're early in your career, so you got a lot of great things you can do. What kind of impact have you seen on people, on audiences that watch some of the movies that you worked on?
There is no better feeling than when you have developed a script for most of the time, many years, and when you're in that first preview and you see an audience see the movie for the first time, and the things you hoped they would respond to emotionally, they do. So to see people cry, at the end of Pursuit of Happiness, when he says, wear a shirt tomorrow, I mean, it's just, even now, it tears me up, right? To see the sun, the image of the sun at the end of Heaven is for Real, in the church, I mean, that still brings chills, right? Because she was so concerned about her son in that movie, and to get peace that, maybe everything's going to be okay. I have seen people, cry. I've seen people laugh. I've seen, families hug after seeing films that I've been associated with, and I'm so fortunate about that, because to me, that's what this is all about. It's about touching people. When you look at box office is an indicator of how well you've touched someone. How well have you? Because if that's what it is. If you've touched someone and they've had a great experience, they go tell their friends, and their friends come because they want the experience. So my goal and hope and drive and mission is to continue to make high quality mainstream content that can also appeal to a faith audience in a way that is authentic and transparent and has integrity. And my goal is, it's like when Jesus came, he didn't come with the faith-based gospel. We try to say, it's a faith-based movie, and I understand that. I get it. I'm not knocking it, but he didn't come with the faith-based gospel. He came with the gospel to change the world. So why don't we make movies and content and television with the same ambition? I want to change the world, and there are some people who may never get to Christ but for seeing a film, but for seeing a television show. So it's about how we portray our experiences on screen in a way that will be compelling to somebody who does not know him, to get them to be curious about, how do I get to know this man? Some movies will be able to direct people directly to Christ. Some people will say, I want to know more. Some people will say, hey, that's a good inspirational experience. But when they say, who made the movie? And it's like, Devon, what does he do? He's a Christian, and he preaches, and he's an author, and all these things. What I want to do is be an example, and to live a life where no matter what you consume that I might produce, that someone will ultimately, as they find me, then they will find Jesus. That's kind of the goal. And again, some content will be closer to do that,
Sure.
and other content will be like, that was really good.
Sure.
And then as they do more research, they'll know, you know,
Yeah.
where it all came from.
Yeah. Sometimes you just flat out preach
Yeah.
the gospel, and sometimes you tell a story about fish or something
There you go.
like that.
There you go.
Right?
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Good stuff, man. I want to keep watching your career and
Oh, thank
watching the
you.
stuff coming out from the things you're touching. How can people keep up with you?
They can keep up with me on all social media. I'm very, very active.
Okay.
My website is devonfranklin.com.
Okay.
I am also on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, all under Devon Franklin.
Okay.
And so if people want to engage, I'd love to, you know, interact. So please hit me up. And on any of those handles, I will respond.
Okay.
I handle my stuff.
Oh,
and
okay.
I
Okay.
try
For
to
now.
get-
For now.
Yeah, I have a team, but I
Okay.
also am engaged as well.
Okay.
And then, you know, the movie will be my next film that I produce
Yeah.
called Miracles from Heaven.
Miracles from Heaven, which is a follow-up to...
Which is a follow-up to Heaven is for
Heaven is
Real.
for
It's
Real,
another
okay.
true story, another
Okay.
inspirational true story that deals with heaven that we will release Easter of 2016,
Okay.
starring Jennifer Garner. So I'm very,
Oh,
very
wow.
excited about that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
keep doing it, man. We appreciate the
I
work
will.
you're doing. We appreciate you taking the time to stop by here at Life Today.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.